Hello and welcome. This is Bad 300 and I am here today to show you clocks, timers, and sensors. Okay, first we're gonna get this one here going. Okay, these right here are your classic timers. And what we have down here though is going to be the first thing we're going to talk about. This is a sensor. As you can see, it is unloading items from here, from the hopper cart, into the hopper using a comparator pointing into this block here, which then turns off this redstone torch, which then turns off power here and turns the power off to this, which turns the power off to that track. Now once this gets empty, the comparator will turn off and it'll allow this torch to turn back on, which allows it to send the appropriate redstone signals. And yes, it has to have this block here to work right, which sends power into here and then sends power into the powered rail, which sends the minecart back down here to be reloaded. Now, why did I bring this episode to you about timers, redstones, and clocks and sensors? Well, I was recently playing on a server that did not allow clocks because they didn't want them lagging down the server when, people were in the area but wasn't on and their clocks would be loaded. Not to mention clocks are notoriously good for breaking on servers when they run full time, or at least full-time clocks are notoriously bad for breaking. Okay, but they called my timer, which you will see here in a minute. Here it comes. It runs over the detector rail. And using repeaters, I've created a delay timer. And, oops. Let's back you up. Ah, gosh dang it. Nope, you need to try this one more time. Oh, I forgot I had that switch on. Come on. Now, I have noticed with this, you do need a bit of a downhill or else it won't take back off. Now, as you can see, this is loading up and here comes the timer and there it goes. Now it's off, drops its cargo up. This is called a timer because it delays the signal like a timer would do. And, the more of these you add in, the more repeaters you add in, the longer it is. Now, I did put the comparator on the end so you have a way to shut it off. And timer off. And you can let this fully load up. Or if you're going to be busy doing stuff and you don't have time to watch it, you can just turn it off and let it go about its stuff while you're working. Now, this right here is a classic redstone clock. It's just 4 repeaters. 4 pieces of redstone in a circle. Here's a longer one for more delay. This is what I call a 4 output because you can take redstone off of each corner to power another device. If you needed to fire off pistons in a set order, well, there you go. I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but that's the most simplest way that I've found. And this is a block clock, fairly common. It's just four repeaters, 2 redstones, a block, and a torch. Now here is the same thing, but it has a lever to give it an on and off ability. And And for some reason, I made the same thing back here. I don't know why. I'm good at making repeats. Now, this one is a pressure plate clock. You step on a pressure plate to activate the clock. You step off. Most commonly recognized is if you've watched Etho's Lab, he builds something like this to power his automatic wheat farm. And here's the same thing, just without the continued configuration. Now this here is a crop sensor, which can be used for harvesting sugarcane or melons or pumpkins. As you see, when the pumpkin grew, it broke the block. Now let's look at the construction of this. So if you would like to build one, you can. Okay, both outside layers are the same. This is the patch where your vegetable will grow onto. Okay, you got 3 blocks in an L shape and a sticky piston to break the block. Now what I did over on this one here to keep this hydrated is I actually broke this block out here and put water in there. You know, since you have a block on each side. Let's see here, piece of glass and a water bucket, not lava, water bucket. So it would be something like this. So that way the surrounding blocks could remain hydrated. Now the interior, and this is actually how I drew this out on a piece of paper. You know, I made a grid of the entire thing, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 by 3. So I made a 3 5-foot long grids and a 3-foot wide grid. And I sat there and I basically copied every layer of this onto that so I'd know how to remake it. I actually got this idea from Daedalus 4, 5, 8, 9, 7, 2, something like that. But what it is you got a sticky piston here connected to a stone. Okay, let's start with the bottom layer. Stone, airspace, stone torch, or redstone torch, stone, stone. Stone. Repeater pointed into stone, airspace, stone, sticky piston. Redstone block, extended piston, the end of the piston, and a redstone torch. So basically what happens is it detects when anything touches that piston. When the block next to that piston gets touched, it detects that and it fires. Now when this slides back, it gives power into this piston, which causes it to go forward, breaks this block, and the whole thing resets. So that is how that works, and we'll take you over here and we will build this out real quick to show you how it works. Okay, first let's go 1, 2, chest, and powered rail. Okay, so then, you know, of course you got your blocks coming in, but right here we got a chest, we have a comparator, block, I think, yeah, block. I need to copy that torch anyways. No, not the stone, the torch. Torch. Come on. There we go. Block. Block. Redstone. And as you can see, because there's nothing in here, let's go ahead and, okay, we put those tracks in there. That redstone light went off. As soon as we take the tracks out, it comes back on. And that's how that works. Pretty simple. Five, four, three, two, one. See? Just like that. Easy peasy Japanese. So that's the way to make that sensor. It uses it detects when this one's full or empty, and it regulates the redstone power via that. Okay, I think we've covered them all now. Yeah, but basically what ended up happening was because I had a timer, I got a 1-day tip banned, which really lit my bubble. Because as a mod, you should know the difference between a timer and a clock. You should be able to tell the difference between different redstone circuitry. You should know the difference between a timer with the switch. See, I wouldn't allow this on us. That probably would, could lag out a server because you could forget to leave it on. But this clock here, I don't see any server in the world having a problem with this clock because the person has to be physically standing on the pressure plate to activate it. This right here, the chunk would have to be loaded for them to use this. And yeah, it's clicking down pretty quick. I mean, it actually need a bit longer of a delay. And now I'll have to fire it by hand. Give it a more of a delay to okay. I think we got it there. And the longer you delay this out, the longer it takes for it to get back. And there it goes, it's unloaded. Let's see how long our delay is. It'll tell us how well we're what our loadout time is. See how many gets in here. I'll be happy with at least half stack. Yeah, there we go. It's running half a stack of block per time. So if we doubled that, we could easily get a stack plus every time, but I'm happy with the half stack. But yeah, that's the difference between a timer. All a timer is, it just delays a redstone signal. It's not a clock because it doesn't run constantly. A clock runs in a loop too. This does not run in a loop. This has a start and an end. There we go. Now, see if it came back around to here. That would be a clock. But it's not a clock. I'm just trying to drive the point home. Alright, folks. This is another episode on clocks, timers, and sensors. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any of your own that you come up with, go ahead and feel free to make your own video, and I'll be glad to see it. If I like it, I'll definitely use it at some point, as I'm sure a lot of people will. All right, signing off.